You don't have to mute. But we are live. Yay, we're live. Yeah. Avenger Pretenders. Yay. Woohoo. Avenger Pretenders. Woo
Good
woo.
stuff, man. Good stuff.
Good stuff. It's good. That's the way. We like it. Mm-hmm.
That's the way. I like it.
Where's my restream chat, though? Alright, there we go. Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Test, test,
Nobody's
test.
home.
Nobody's home. Oh
I
my
knocked
goodness
on the
gracious.
door, but nobody answered. That's because people inside are just bastards.
Alrighty, let's see here. Let's go to make sure I'm live
Let's
on
see. Share.
Facebook. So yay for that. Hello everybody. Live on D Live. We're live on Twitch, our home, away from home.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I guess I should do a tweet, huh?
Avenger Pretenders.
Twitter.com.
Are
Lady Death, what up? Number one leading lady and number one subscriber for the longest
episode
amount of time.
1 of new Avenger series. What? Spoiler.
We are live on at Accidental Punch because that's how I roll.
Very bumpily.
Very bumpily.
Very
Hi,
bumpily.
Carol. Alrighty.
Nikaya, Carol, hi.
Starring one geek and a redneck. Come join us. And
What the hell happened to Jordan Love? Son of a bitch.
what happened?
And we lost our backup quarterback.
Womp womp.
Preseason shoulder injury. Don't know how long he's going to be out, but they're looking at bringing in a fourth quarterback.
That's not good.
Now, at least we got Rodgers back. The only question is he actually going to put full effort into it? That's the question.
Isn't he close to retiring?
He was threatening he was going to retire.
Really?
Oh, you don't know about all the drama?
No, I honestly, the last thing of sports I've watched, don't really care.
Rodgers felt like he was being taken advantage of basically by the Green Bay corporate office and everything. He missed OTAs and voluntary workouts and everything for the first time in his career this year. Like Nakai said, he's being a dick.
Oh, okay.
Threatened, he told him that he either wanted to be traded or he was going to retire. And then decided, okay, I'll play one more season if you bring back, who the hell was it? Was it Donald Driver that they brought back, Nakaya? It was one of his favorite receivers from several years ago that they got rid of. So they brought him back. Now that he's trying to get him to bring back Clay Matthews on the defense.
Oh.
And, he's being a dick. And that's why I say, he came off an MVP season and decided he was going to pull this stuff because he didn't feel he was being valued enough.
Oh, so boo-hoo.
Yeah, I think it was Randall Cobb, Nakaya. Thank you.
Gotcha. All right. Nope, that's
So the
not what I
question
want.
is he actually going to, put full 100% effort into it?
I'm going to say I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. All right. Hi, everybody. We're going to get right to it. We've got, I don't know, this may be a short podcast. Depending on JT's nerdiness when it comes to some questions, we'll figure that out in a little bit. So JT, why don't you take it away? Let's do the intro, man.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to all the geeks, the nerds, the haves, the have-nots, the lost, and the just socially confused. This is Avengers Pretenders. I said it wrong. It's Avenger Pretenders. And tonight we are interviewing episode 1 of the new series, What If?
That's right. And of course, it's starring one geek and a redneck. Myself, Sully, and JT Hollis, of course, is the redneck. So, with that being said, I hope everybody has already watched the first episode because hashtag spoilers. Here comes, folks. If you haven't watched
Yes,
it already,
this is version 3.1.
yes, version 3.1. 4.1 will probably be WandaVision. We'll go back to watch WandaVision, and we'll do we'll do that. That way we have it, and that way it's recorded, and we do what we need to do.
Right.
We kind of missed the mark on that one, just a little bit. But if you haven't watched What If, shame on you. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Now,
You need to have at least a decent reason. I mean, not like Tank. I had shit to do. That's not a reason.
Shit to do.
That's not an excuse.
Doesn't count, my friend. Doesn't count. But this week, the first episode was What If Captain Carter were the first
super
Avenger.
soldier.
So, all in all, in this case, the measuring scale will be a question mark. How many question marks? Because, well, let's face it, it's what if. And it's what if, ... question mark. That's the way the comics were. That's the way the show is. Simple as that. So it's going to be the question mark is the rating scale for this one because it's going to be 10 different stories, 10 different retellings of what we've seen in the MCU so far today. Thanks to Loki. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was talking with Nakia the other day. Actually, I interrupted her while she was watching it to send her the first picture of the project I'm working on for her. And I love what she said. Let me see if I can find it here.
Ooh.
I'm scrolling through here.
Viewer comments.
Dang it. But she was watching it, and basically she said, "Oh shit! This opens up opens everything up for new stuff."
It really does.
Okay, here it is. The show is going to open a whole another shit show of storylines.
Yes.
LOL.
Yes. Now,
which is exactly, I think, what this series was intended to do.
Oh, absolutely. And we have that. We have Loki to thank for that. We do have Loki to thank for that. And what's really cool is they tie Loki, they tie Doctor Strange, they tie Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 all to the What If. And what I mean by that is
took Loki and just blew it up.
Yeah, Loki just opened up the can of worms and it just went from there. One thing that you have to realize with What If, the possibilities are endless with the What If stories. And even with this episode, and we'll get into it, with this episode, there's a lot of, I don't want to say confusion.
You say Easter eggs, I'm going to reach through this mic and smack you.
Well, there are Easter eggs, but not, but again, not as many as you think.
Right.
You know, because
I would think it'd be tricky to do Easter eggs because these are all, what if on a totally different level than what they're actually doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? As far as the actual MCU, this is like taking the MCU and throwing it into the Twilight Zone, basically.
Yes. So
So
so here's I, we'll get into the Easter eggs because again the Easter eggs are a little
obscure.
yeah, and the reason they're definitely obscure is mostly because it's the multiverse. We're seeing the
Hmm.
multiverse. The cool thing is we have Uatu, the Watcher. That's his name. He's the one basically telling the story.
How do you say it again?
Uatu.
Watu.
Uatu.
Okay.
Uatu.
I was calling him Atu. I was close.
Atu.
Atu. Atu. Excuse me.
Let me just double check because I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. Let's see here. Yep, Uatu.
Our good friend Neil over in the UK
What
just came
up?
in, Mr. Captain Country, and he says, "Did someone say Easter eggs? Oof, that is chocolate porn." Good morning from this side. Hope everyone is well.
Well, hello,
Hi,
Neil.
Neil.
Welcome.
Good to see you, Neil.
It's
And
very good to
just so
see
you know,
you.
since you just came in, we are reviewing something that you probably haven't and probably won't watch.
Yeah, it is the What If episode 1 on Disney Plus, and it's what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger. And before we do get started, they did get just about every single person back to do their own voices. Haley
Yeah.
Atwell is playing Peggy Carter because let's face it, Haley Atwell is freaking phenomenal as Peggy Carter. Josh Keaton is playing Steve Rogers. So they did not get Chris Evans to do the voice, which it is what it is. They do have Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury, which we'll get into that. Jeremy Renner is playing Clint Barton. We'll also get into it. Stanley Tucci is reprising his role as Dr. Abram Erskine. So he's the one who developed the super soldier serum. We have Dominic Cooper is reprising his role as Howard Stark, the young Howard Stark from not just Captain America: The First Avenger, but he also reprised his role as Howard Stark in Agent Carter. So we've got a lot of ties going from TV to show here. Then we have Bradley Whitford is playing John Flynn. He played, if I remember correctly, he was in one of the movies. I just don't remember which one. I really don't. I don't remember which one. You know what?
He was in there somewhere.
Actually, I do remember. He was, if I remember correctly, he was also in, I think WandaVision is what he was in. Let me just double check that. Those are the awards. Nope. Maybe he wasn't. Oh wow.
Well, we don't need full background on
Nope.
each and every one of them anyway. So
No, but he's playing Colonel Flynn, and which he basically took over the role that Tommy Lee Jones played. Okay.
and he's an asshole.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
He is more of an asshole in this than Tommy Lee Jones was in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Big
mean,
time.
Tommy Lee Jones in the movie was just a dick.
But he did it for a reason.
Captain Carter, in Captain Carter, he is a total friggin' misogynistic asshole.
Yeah.
Now let me change that. A misogynistic asshat.
Ross Marquand reprised his role as Johann Schmidt, also known as the Red Skull, and he is the second actor to play him because the first one didn't reprise his role. No.
My favorite one was Scheiße.
Oh, Scheiße. Neil McDonough reprised his role as Dum Dum Dugan. Sebastian Stan was Bucky Barnes. Toby Jones was Arnim Zola, who was also Arnim Zola in both the Captain America movies. And we also have Daryl Hammond. Daryl Hammond played a Nazi general, so that was pretty cool. And we also have Isaac Robinson Smith as Brick, who was a German soldier that pretty much gets his ass kicked. Now, with that being said, this episode is sort of a retelling of Captain America: The First Avenger. So if you've seen what happens in the movie, which by now, 23 films later, and now four shows, 5 shows if you count Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., 6 if you count Inhumans, you would know what happens with Captain America with Steve Rogers in The First Avenger. So now what happens is this. It basically starts off with World War II. Steve is the chosen one. He's still the chosen one for the Super Soldier Serum project that was being developed. And, of course, the SSR, Agent Carter, wants to help with the procedure. Now, the cool thing is, the Watcher is basically telling you what's going on. Yes, he's not narrating the whole thing. He is narrating the beginning of it. But it's really cool.
He's narrating specific parts that they want to emphasize.
Yes, very, very specific parts. Where in Captain America: The First Avenger, Peggy Carter was told to go up on the balcony with everybody else, away from everything that was going on, to make sure that, she was safe, nobody was getting hurt, and we know how that happened. Steve Rogers became the super soldier. This time, however, she decides not to do that. And she decides to stay with Steve Rogers.
And then you hear the words, right there. That is the moment that changed everything.
Exactly. That right there. And that's the cool thing about it. And that's what I love about being able to tackle the multiverse. Because now we have a whole new timeline, whole new action, same characters, but it's just one of those things that it's just a little diversion.
If you put it in Loki terms, that's where the branch started.
Exactly. Which means
that's where the branch from the timeline started.
Which means nobody was there to fix the timeline to put it back to the way it was supposed to be.
Right.
So it does tie to Loki very, very well with this first episode. From there, Howard Stark starts preparing Steve Rogers just like he does. And Heinz Kruger, who was also the spy in the movie, does his whole thing. He attacks the lab. We see Peggy notice something.
Laying on the floor.
Something laying on the floor. Shiny little object. It explodes. People get hurt. People get thrown. And Steve decides to get up off the table without having the super soldier serum and try to stop this guy. Because it's Steve Rogers. He doesn't like a bully. Yeah. He's going to get back up and do what he needs to.
He's running into a gunfight with nothing.
Right. No armor, no weapons. Scrawny. Scrawny as hell, pretty much.
Basically me.
Okay. There you go. To put it nicely, JT.
Looking like JT. I admit it,
And so he's attempting to steal the serum, just like he does in the original movie. But he also kills Chester Phillips, who also shoots Rogers.
Right.
And
Rogers takes one in the gut.
And that's where more things start to go, because now Peggy decides she's going to kill Kruger, and they still have to go with the procedure. So she jumps on the table and gets the super soldier serum.
Yeah, and not to walk all over you or anything like that, but to be a little more specific, they only had the energy or the power to be able to do this one time.
Yep.
And they were about to lose that power.
Yeah.
If they didn't go now, they weren't going to be able to do it. And
New York couldn't handle it.
Flynn, the dick that he is, Rogers, get in there. Peggy tells him he can't. he's shot. He can't get in there like this.
Right.
Then he tells Norman to get in it. He's like, oh, hell no, I'm a button pusher, pal. So Peggy says, you know what? I'm the only one.
Let's do it.
I'm the only one that can do this. We've got to do it now. So she grabbed the bottle of serum that the spy had, put it back in the machine, took off her top, and got in.
Absolutely.
And she's like, Flynn's, you can't, we don't have, women don't fight, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, this is the only freaking chance we have to do this. Do it.
Do it. Get it done.
And Stark went against Flynn's orders and went ahead with it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when she came out, she looked like she could play linebacker for the freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
She was jacked. Not bad for an animation.
She barely fit in the damn machine.
Yeah.
She was literally squeezed.
Yeah, I think they helped her out of it, didn't they? If I remember correctly, they helped her out of the machine because she was practically stuck in it.
Well, Norman did, yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's see here. Captain Country UK. What is this? Little House on the Prairie? No. But that was good. I like that one.
That was a good one. So, that's kind of the beginning of everything. So, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, it does match up very similar to Captain America: The First Avenger. It really does. Which is perfectly fine. It's going to be something similar to that because you have to show the origin stories. Now, mind you, this is a much shorter version, okay? At the same time, after she's enhanced, Mr. Flynn, the douche that he is...
You're lucky to even be in the room.
Yep.
I hate that line.
We shouldn't even be talking. Women are not soldiers. Now, I will point stuff out. And this is where people are a little conflicted on the story, on what's going on. People are saying that the episode is woke. People are saying that it's
Jesus,
a political statement.
Really?
They are. People
I gotta do it, Sully. I'm sorry. It's a fucking cartoon, people. It is not a political statement.
But gotta remember, it's also the multiverse. They can do whatever the hell they want.
Exactly.
It's your interpretation of it. And
sit back and enjoy the damn show.
And don't get me wrong. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion on it. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion on it.
Yes, they are.
But we don't have to make it a political statement for everything. It's a cartoon. It's based in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe multiverse. So it's folks, another way of things happening. Out. Okay.
And this stuff was planned out way before wokeness became a thing.
Yeah, pretty
way
much.
Before the Me Too movement started, and which was basically the start of all of this.
Right.
This was all laid out and planned out and probably written before then.
Yeah. Now, again, this is a very similar... the episode is very similar to Captain America: The First Avenger. All right? So now, at the same time, once all this is happening, we have, in Norway, the Red Skull is obtaining the Tesseract. Just like in the movie, he gets it. Powerful artifact that can manipulate space. He plans to use it to win the war. We know that. It's same as the movie. Nothing changes there. And Flynn, the wonderful general that he is, refuses to send anyone to stop him.
I won't send one soldier, let alone a platoon, for a battery.
Yeah. Yep. Lady Death says, hell of a battery. It is. It's a very big hell of a battery.
It's actually kind of scary that I'm actually reminding actual lines of the show.
It is kind of scary. Not going to lie. JT never does this, folks. Just putting it out there. But at the same time, Stark and Carter have a little bit of a heart-to-heart in a bar, and Stark gives Carter a costume. Captain America costume that he upgraded. Upgrade! Yay! Um, so instead, he gives Carter the vibranium shield as well, and well, she uses it to go on a rampage and attack a Hydra convoy and successfully retrieve the Tesseract and Arnim Zola. So a lot of things are happening that are different right now. Besides the cattail in JT's face. And for those listening on the audio podcast, obviously, yeah, we know you can't see the cat, but it's kind of funny. Because it never fails. Every time he's doing a show, the cat's there. So, after she attacks the Hydra convoy, she's got the Tesseract, she's got Arnim Zola, she slams the Tesseract down on Flynn's desk and says, "You can promote me to captain." Captain sounds nice.
One of my favorite lines of the show from her was, "The war's out there, not in here."
Exactly.
Love that. Love that.
Exactly. And she's right. She's right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know? So then we come up to the fact that, she's just trying out her powers for the first time. She's kicking ass. She's shocked at the way she's moving, the way the shield
the truck,
works.
She's like, "Now that was cool. Let's do it again."
Let's do it again. Yeah. Let's do it again. And at this point in time, we get to the point where Steve and Peggy are talking. I think they were in a restaurant or they were in a bar. They were having a drink. They were talking about, what Peggy did and dancing. Dancing's the theme here, folks. They're partners. They're dance partners. We know this, okay? They emphasize the dancing a lot. They don't even touch the fondue joke, but they go with the dancing, which is perfectly fine. Whatever, okay?
Well, and that was the big promise between the two in the first movie was that, you owe me a dance.
Yes.
So I actually like that they carried that over into the
sure
the show. That was nice.
Because remember, it's just a different variation. It's an alternate timeline. So obviously they're talking about this a little bit more, and they're also talking about what they're going to need in order to stop the war. And one of the things that they need are soldiers. So they need to rescue Barnes and the Howling Commandos.
Yeah, Nakia says they want to do a lot more than just dance.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
No, it's a form of dance.
Your cat is attacking your quilt. Gonna scratch that up.
That would be Oreo. Yeah, that would be Oreo. Just remember, black and white Oreo cookie.
All right, I got you. Oreo, damn it. Get out of the camera, Oreo. So from there, they decide that they're going to have to rescue the Howling Commandos. And, well, at the same time, Stark is doing something a little secret with the Tesseract. Gotta hand it to him. He is a genius, after all. Where do you think Tony gets it from? So they decide that they're going to rescue Bucky Barnes because he's captured by Hydra forces. And Rogers is now in what's called the Hydra Stomper suit. And it's built and powered by the Tesseract. It's basically Iron Man.
It's the beta version of the Iron Man suit.
Absolutely.
Is what it is. Or would it be the alpha version of the Iron Man suit?
It would be the Mark Zero. Or the prototype is what it would be called.
Prototype, there you go.
Yeah, it'd be the prototype. So he surprises her by, helping free them, rescue them, all that good stuff. And Carter and Rogers team up together, and they go on to fight in numerous battles with Barnes and the Howling Commandos until we get to the infamous train scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, the infamous train scene. Now go ahead.
This is where it kind of got interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because they kind of follow the movie,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but with the change in everything and Rogers being in the Hydra Stomper,
Yep.
they had to figure out, okay, how are we going to do this now?
Sure.
Because we got Carter taking what Steve's role would have been. So how would Steve be involved in this? Well, he's a big old freaking robot. He could slow a train down. So let's have him fly in and land on the front of the train
And slow it down.
and slow it down so that the others can get on. And the thing they didn't tell you was that the suit actually gave him the ability, radar or not radar, ultra vision, whatever you want to call it, where
X-ray.
he could see through the train to see
X-ray.
if the guy was if Red Skull was in there or not.
Yeah. And what he discovered once he opened up the train, a lot of explosives. A lot of explosives. Now, the other difference is Arnim Zola is already captured, so he's not on the train like in the movie. They think it's Red Skull.
Right.
Red Skull set up a trap to take out the Hydra Stomper. Real simple, real easy. Train explodes. Everybody gets off the train except for Steve because, well, train exploded, fell down. You had avalanche. You name it. It happened. Okay. Obviously, Carter's pissed.
And indestructible suit destroyed.
Right.
Kind of like the Titanic,
Near, far, wherever you are.
Steve!
There was plenty of room on that door, just saying.
Yep.
Mythbusters even proved it. Anyway.
Was it a door or a headboard? Wasn't it a headboard?
It was a door. It was a door.
Okay.
Yep. So anyway, they get to the point where, obviously they mention that Steve is missing in action. He died, killed in action. And now Carter is pissed. Pissed to the point where she reverses the wonderful saying by, John Flynn and says, "You're lucky to be in the room right now."
And I like the fact that before this, in the interim where, they were going out, or Captain Carter and Bucky were going out with the suit and everything and just kicking everybody's ass and everything else.
Yep.
And he's sitting there, and he's taking all the credit for it.
Oh, yeah.
When he had nothing to do with it because he didn't think Carter should, be on the front in the first place.
Oh, yeah, Mr. President. Yeah, Mr. President. That was my idea. It's called the Hydra Stomper, Mr. President. Yeah.
Neil says, "Dude, no, don't make me go to bed with that effing song in my head."
Sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Right? Actually, I would just say hashtag not sorry.
I'll just say hashtag my bad. So we get to the point where now Carter decides that she is going to question Arnim Zola, and Arnim Zola says he's not saying a word to her. Not to
He told me everything.
And she comes in. He told me everything. He told me everything we need to know, and they decide that they're going to infiltrate the castle. Now, I will say this.
Now's when it gets really good.
It does get really good, and at the same time, did the castle kind of look like Cinderella's castle from Disney World?
Yeah, kind of. I was thinking a little bit of Frozen, too.
A little bit. No. Frozen was a lot smaller of a castle. But it looked like... Cinderella's castle.
It was a weird shape. It was a weird shape for a castle. It was definitely a weird shape for a castle. That there is no question.
I'm trying to find an actual picture of the castle because I'm telling you, it looked like Cinderella's castle. It really did.
This.
I personally think it looked like Cinderella's castle. And I did find a picture. Let me see if I can pull this up here and show everybody here. Let me. I'll even split the screen because I'm telling you, it looked like Cinderella's castle. Let's see here. Nope, not that one. That's the one I want. Properties and show it. And whoop. Wait a minute. Where'd it go? Properties.
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. It's not getting... It's not letting me fix it. Let's see. Transform. Fit to screen. Yeah, it's not showing it. Well, WTF. I want to show the picture of the castle. I want to show a picture of the castle. Nope.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it too.
Why isn't it doing it? WTF. It's showing like a little strip, and that's it. And I don't know why.
Right.
There we go. I fixed it. I fixed it, JT. I fixed it. Maybe.
That's not it.
All right. I might have fixed it. I think I fixed it. All right. Here is... All right. So here you go.
Nikai says, and this is just about where JT interrupted me. And she's right. This was about the time that I sent her the first picture of her project.
Okay. Now there's the castle. There's the castle. You can see the castle. It's Red Skull's castle. You're going to tell me that doesn't look like Cinderella's castle in Disney World?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
I'll give it to you.
Well, let's do this. Cinderella's castle, Disney World, night.
Dude, I said I'd give it to you.
I know, but I want to show the comparison. And let me shrink this down a little bit. And yeah, that one's probably a little bit better here. Let me. And shrink that down. And extend the top just a little bit. And there we go. And there you go. It looks just like the frickin' castle. It really does. It looks just like the castle.
Well, you take the centerpiece there, the taller part, and you shift it over to the side a little bit, and then you take this one castle that's on the right, or one spire on the right side as you look at it, and you move that to the other side. Then you've got it.
You do. I'm telling you, but here,
even Nikaya says, now that you mention it, yeah, it does.
It looks just like it. Are the animators getting lazy?
Probably. It's highly possible. It wouldn't surprise me anyway.
It really wouldn't surprise me either, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But I mean, it looks just like it. It really does. It's crazy how it looks like it. So I wanted to point that out because I thought that was a pretty interesting, wait a second, did I just see that? And hey, wait a minute. I did, and that would be considered an Easter egg. So, just putting it out there.
But is it one that they meant to do? That's the question. Or is it one that you created?
I think they meant to do it. I think they just got lazy, to be honest.
So now I have to say, before we dive into this siege on the castle.
Yep.
I actually had to watch this episode a second time.
Okay.
Because the one part that lost me when Kay and I were watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Neil says, Cinderella's Castle, the 6-mile mark of the Walt Disney World Marathon. I loved running through there in 2008.
From what I hear, it's a great it's a great run. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nakia says at first she was thinking Maleficent's Castle.
I think that's in Norway. Actually, I don't know where her castle is, but even still, it looks just like it.
Right. So the thing that forced me to watch it a second time, because I wanted to have the answer to this before I came on the show, just in case somebody else was wondering the same thing.
Okay.
The pondering question that was out there floating for me was, how the hell did Hydra get their hands back on the Tesseract? Because Captain Carter rescued the Tesseract.
Yes.
When they captured the scientist dude.
And
I'm like, well, how the hell did Hydra get the Tesseract back? The answer comes in just a few moments.
Yes.
So I will let you carry on from there with that question floating out there, just in case somebody else was asking the same thing.
I'd love to. So after Carter gets all the information from Arnim Zola, she and the Howling Commandos decide to infiltrate the castle, and there's 2 ways to do it: high ground and low ground. Up high, down low. Peggy Carter chose up high, so she gets to go high, while the Howling Commandos get to infiltrate from the low side. And they're taking out everybody. Everybody. Like, everybody. But at the same time, Red Skull is using the Tesseract that he obtained from the Hydra Stomper, because that was powering it up.
It was powered by the Tesseract, just like Stark's thing does on his Iron Man suit.
Exactly.
And it took me watching it a second time to realize that, and picture in my head the fact that when the Hydra Stomper is out in action in the earlier parts of the movie, that centerpiece on the Hydra Stomper shines blue.
Yes.
And it took up until the point where they basically used the generator to jumpstart the Hydra Stomper so that Steve could use it again. That was when it clicked the second time through that,
exactly.
That's how they got the Tesseract, because it was in the suit when they blew up the train.
Correct, my friend, correct. And obviously Bucky and the Howling Commandos, they're the ones that found Steve Rogers laying down on the ground outside of the suit. Obviously, he still had a little bit of a condition with his legs, so, couldn't really get up and walk as well. Looked like he got beaten up a little bit. But
just help me into the suit.
At the same time, Red Skull is using the Tesseract to conduct an experiment to open up a portal and summon an interdimensional demon. Or creature, or the
do we ever have a name
Hydra.
For that?
So, I'm glad you asked.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you asked. That creature is Shuma Gorath. Okay? I know. Gorath. It's weird. But Shuma Gorath was basically like a Hydra entity. Like, it has the tentacles. It's a normally he was a villain in Doctor Strange comics. Premiered in Marvel premiere number 10. way back 1972. But in this case, because it's an alternate timeline, it's an
Mm-hmm.
alternate branch of reality, they decided to use it here. And what happens is the more it kills, the
The
more it
bigger it gets.
grows. It gets bigger
Mm.
and bigger. Okay? Uh,
Interesting.
it
It
really
did seem
is.
like each tentacle had its own brain,
Sorta.
almost.
Sorta. So now what happens from here on in is the experiment goes awry and Red Skull gets snagged,
I love that
literally,
part.
by Shumagorath. And,
he gets, he brought it in, and he's
oh,
the
JT
first
froze.
one to freaking die from it as he
Yes.
gets crushed.
First one to die from it.
Love that.
And all you see is Red Skull screaming, and then you hear,
Arms out.
all you hear is,
Oh!
you hear the snapping of the bones, you hear the
Yep.
cracking, and I'm like, wow,
Nice.
I didn't think that that would actually happen in a Marvel animated series. But it did.
I mean, it was cool as hell. I mean, it's so ironic, that the person that was bringing whatever the hell this thing's name is
Yep.
into this universe is the first person that this thing kills.
Yes.
I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
to me, that was perfect symmetry
And then, of course,
for that whole thing.
starts killing all the other Hydra soldiers and agents that are around there. And
Hmm.
Steve breaks through with the now charged suit. He's trying to help Peggy, and it gets to the point where he can't anymore. The suit's not charging up the way it's supposed to, and
He
things
used the
happen.
last of the energy to shoot the arm or the tentacle that had Peggy or Captain Carter
Correct.
that was holding her, and he used the last of the energy in the suit to try to cut the arm off,
Right.
basically, and it didn't work. It looked like the thing was actually self healing,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
kind of doing a Wolverine kind of thing.
Healing
Uh,
factor.
yeah,
So,
it was.
and this is where the other differences from Captain America: The First Avenger and what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger.
Right.
Obviously, the story is very similar. It's still the same. They do sacrifice themselves. Steve goes into the ice and crashes the plane. In this one, Carter pushes what's it, Shumagorath back through the portal, and Howard Stark is told push buttons. You're a genius. Push some buttons. Turn this thing off. And he does. He figures out how to turn it off, and Carter keeps pushing Shumagorath through. And unfortunately, she sacrifices herself, and the portal closes. And it's a little bit of a bummer. A little bit of a bummer.
Yes, it is.
Captain Country, this sounds like a chemistry lesson from school. Hydrostatic hydrostoppers. What? You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
You think I'm bad when it comes to the Avengers and the MCU and everything else. If you listen to me now, I almost sound like I know what I'm talking about.
He,
Neil, I don't think has even watched any of these at all.
dude, catch
So
up.
he's even further outside of it than I was.
Catch up, man. Just saying.
Well, he's still got to work through Harry Potter with his daughter first.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
So
So now she sacrificed herself. Everybody's all sad. We cut to the future, and it's completely black. It's a completely black screen. But then it opens up. You see it happen where it's the same exact room that the Tesseract was in the first Avengers movie, where Loki presented himself. The doorway opens up, only this time Peggy Carter comes out of the doorway. And we see Nick
as
Fury.
well
Oh
as
yeah, and some
several
tentacles
tentacle
that
chunks.
she that she kills. So not only did she push everything through the portal, but now she's arrived 70 years later into the future through another portal, and she meets Nick Fury and Clint Barton, also known as Hawkeye. So now we're in present time. We're in where the Avengers started. And then we get the wonderful saying from the Watcher stating that he watches and sees everything. He cannot interfere. He will not interfere. Because he can't. He's the Watcher.
Well, it was three things. I cannot. What was it? Cannot, could not, and will not, or something like that. Because it was a three thing. You know, can't, won't, and
right.
I can't remember what the third one was.
Let me see here. I'll get you the exact quote. Hold on 1 second here. Get you the exact quote because I'm that awesome. All right, let's see here.
It's a great line. I mean, it's one of the best lines in the show.
Yes. And let's face it, Jeffrey Wright, he does that voice wonderfully.
Right.
Wonderfully. He is the Watcher. Okay? I can't see anybody else doing that voice now. I really can't. And I hope they use that in upcoming movies too. Because, not for nothing, I really hope that they actually use it in Doctor Strange. Yeah, I really do. I hope they use Uatu in Doctor Strange because that would be awesome. And I have I really do have a feeling I'm pronouncing the name wrong. I want to say it's Uatu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he never says in the first episode. He never says what his name is.
He just refers
other than
to
the fact that I am the Watcher.
Yep, that's all he refers to himself as, the Watcher. That's it. But I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I'm saying it wrong. I have a feeling it's Uatu, not Uatu. And I know how I can double check this.
I was saying Atu because I think the U is silent.
Let me ask the ultimate nerd expert when it comes to...
We know you're not talking about me.
No. I go to the next best person, my dad.
Keaton's just came in. He says, 100% agree, Sully. And hey, now, what's up? Just came in.
What up?
Good to see you, Keaton's. Sully is trying to look up the exact phrase that Atu or Uatu or whatever the Watcher's name is.
Watu.
What he says at the end of episode 1 of What If.
The Watcher of What If, yes. Let me see here. What If episode 1 ending dialogue. That's how we determine this. Let's see here. Nope. Maybe it's this one. Let me just double check here because I want to make sure that I'm getting it right. Nope. They didn't freaking end it the right way. Stupid. I hate when people do that. I really do. I hate when they upload like partial videos.
Right.
And they don't put the full ending. All right. So
one choice gave birth.
Here, wait a minute. Okay. Here we go. So this is the ending. Okay?
Okay.
Of course. We won the war.
Her one choice gave birth to a whole new history and gave the multiverse a new hero. As for me, these are my stories. I observe all that transpires here, but I do not, cannot, will not interfere. For I am
cannot, will not.
The Watcher.
I mean, honestly,
Do not, cannot, will not.
yeah. Okay, my dad's not helping.
Well, and
He
you
said,
got Captain Country who just posted in the chat.
yeah.
Watch her. Her one choice gave birth to a whole new history and gave the multiverse a new hero. As for me, these are my stories. I observe all that transpires here, but I do not, cannot, and will not interfere, for I am the Watcher.
Yes.
Neil, how the hell did you get that?
I'm sure he looked it up. My dad texted me back. I've always said Uwatu. Uwatu.
Uatu. So he's using both of them as active, where I use it as the U being silent.
Well, let's see. Let me check the English language pronunciation chart here.
Let's let Neil look it up. You know, he seems to be pretty good at that. So,
Yeah.
Neil, how do you say the Watcher's name?
You know what? How do you pronounce
Oh, there you go.
Uatu? No, that's not. It's trying to auto correct it to auto.
Yeah. Neil just put Google what if episode 1 transcript for his last line there. That's how he got it.
Okay, let's see here.
Try how do you say the Watcher's name? Or I'll try that one. How do you
pronounce the Watcher's name? And while we're doing this, because we're stupid like that.
Well, we got to know now.
We do. We have to know. Let's see. See, when I look it up, according to Marvel, it's pronounced Watu, Watu. And Keaton says Watu also with an H. Watu.
Hwatoo. So Watu.
Watu. Which would make sense. Watu.
Let's see what the Wikipedia page says.
I think it's Watu. But anyway, as we're we're still doing this, I personally think it's Watu. Keaton says it does sound better. It does. It does kind of sound better. And to be honest, I think Jeffrey Wright did a phenomenal job doing his voice. Phenomenal. Obviously, we've seen the Watchers in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as a little cameo with Stan Lee as the Watcher, which was a great inside joke that James Gunn did, because that was a fan theory that everybody was saying that, hey, he's a Watcher. Yeah, well, he certainly is now. But at the same time, just to go back and hit some Easter eggs that I know JT's going to bitch and complain about in a minute. They're not really Easter eggs. It's more of a drawback, because Bradley Whitford did play Colonel John Flynn in Agent Carter, in the short film, the Marvel one-shot Agent Carter. So everybody reprised their roles except for Chris Evans. He's the only one who... Well, that and... what's his name there? What the hell's his name? God damn it. Hugo Weaving. Because Hugo Weaving played the original Red Skull, but Ross Marquand played the Red Skull in Infinity War and Endgame, and I have a feeling he's going to be the Red Skull from now on. So him reprising his role was really cool. Then, of course, you have the similarities to certain things, including callbacks like to Avengers, where in the episode, Peggy goes through the process. She becomes a super soldier, and Howard Stark excitedly coos, I call this an absolute success, which is similar to what the Hulk said in saying, I see this as an absolute win about time travel, something he knew nothing about. So I thought that was pretty
Well,
cool.
and wasn't there kind of an Easter egg or a referral or a reference to the first movie, the original movie, when Captain Carter just destroyed that first truck?
Yes.
Because in the movie, Steve Rogers destroyed a car.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So you kind of had the a link there that maybe people didn't really think about.
Yeah, well, the other thing you also have to remember about the callback is there was also another one where Steve Rogers mentions that Captain Carter doesn't have to go through any USO shows.
Right.
Which is a callback to the first movie because that's what
Yeah,
Steve did.
And in the episode, he's like, well, they could have you go out and do, wear a goofy costume and sell bonds.
Sell bonds. Yep. And of course, we mentioned it earlier, the whole dance, the promised dance between Peggy and Steve. You really don't need any more explanation than that. They kept that as a running theme, which was great. They also have there was a very subtle joke, and I don't know if anybody else caught it. I caught it, and I think it's a really good reference. On the train, Bucky falls off the train, and Carter catches him and pulls him up. And he says, you almost ripped my arm out of my socket. or almost ripped my arm off is what it was, I think.
Arm out of socket, yeah.
Yeah.
In first, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, his arm was ripped off. Yep. So that was a good good.
I caught that one.
It was a good callback, and then of course, there really wasn't many other references aside from the actual movie itself and how it referenced basically the whole movie, retold it in 24 to 30 minutes, I want to say. So we made a 30-minute episode into an hour-long podcast.
Well, that's what we're supposed to do.
So, yay to us. So, my question to you, JT, is how many what if question marks do you give this episode?
Well, I'm going to give it 5 shields. I'm going to give it 4 3/4 Loki helmets.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it 4.5 question marks.
4.5 question marks.
I love the episode. I enjoyed the first Avenger movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where Captain America was born and everything. I loved that movie.
Yep.
I love the branch that they made of it. You know, they still stuck to the storyline as far as, you know, the sequence of events and everything.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I like the best, and I know it's a small part, but to me it was huge, was the dance.
Yes.
Because the dance was a huge thing between Steve and Peggy in the movie. And in this episode, to me, it was even more of a thing. But I really enjoyed what they did with it, how they wrote the storyline.
Sure.
The bringing in of the tentacle monster was cool, but was kind of a turnoff to me because it seemed like it was just a little bit too much.
Okay.
As far as pushing the storyline, but not enough that it made me not want to watch it again.
Okay. All right.
You know, so overall, great episode. I was into it from the beginning. I caught several of the references that you talked about.
Yep.
As far as the hidden Easter eggs and all that kind of stuff. So 4.5, you know, I'm going to give it 4.5.
All right, 4.5.
I really enjoyed it.
Captain Country is on his way out. It is now 2 a.m. there, and he says, "Take care, my transatlantic friends," and also says this has been a very confusing education but the clock struck 2 a.m. Also says, stay safe and keep well. Until next, I am not the Watcher. Lights out. Good night, folks. So good night.
Neil, you have a great night, my friend, and join us tomorrow night for the Sully Show. You can have some fun in the first hour before you go
It'll
and
be
crash.
awesome. I promise. Be fun. I got a lot of stuff planned. It's not on the prep sheet, but I actually have stuff planned. It's going to be cool. I'm going to give this episode...
Well, before you give yours,
Oh, okay.
real quick, Lady Death, 5 question marks. Loved the storyline from Nakaya.
Excellent. All right. I will also... I'm going to give it a 4.5 as well for the question marks. And just to touch up on what you mentioned, the other thing that you didn't mention was the animation.
Oh, the animation was amazing.
The animation was so detailed and amazing. Now,
I was almost worried that they were going to kind of, Japanese animation it a little bit, and
Okay.
I thank God they didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the animation is still top notch.
The animation was amazing. The color was phenomenal, and they made it look like a comic book, to be honest, but with better animation, so to speak. You can tell it's a different type of style, mostly because it is all done with computers. We know it's all done with computers. Most animated shows are done with computers these days. It's just a matter of the animation style. And I love the detail that they have. You can see lights being faded in the background. You can see characters in full figure, full shadow. You can see as much detail as possible. And that's one of the other reasons why I'm giving it the 4.5. Yes, it was a retelling of Captain America and the Winter, Captain America, the First Avenger. But you have to understand, this is all after Loki destroyed the timeline.
Right.
So,
and one other thing I want to throw out real quick,
Yeah.
because you were mentioning about the animation and everything, the sound effects too.
oh yeah,
The
Very
sound effects
realistic.
that they did. I mean, if you look when the spy blew up the lab,
yep,
or attempted to blow up the lab, in the movie it was the lighter, opening of the lighter, that set it off.
Yep.
And it's a Zippo lighter.
mm-hmm.
And if you listen in the show, it sounds exactly.
Like a
They had
Zippo
to
lighter.
have taken a freaking Zippo and put it right next to the microphone and flipped it open.
Oh, I'm sure
Because
they did.
it sounded... If you've ever owned a Zippo in your life and used it more than once,
Mm-hmm.
that sound is a very, very distinct sound, just like the sound of an AK-47,
Yeah,
to make a movie reference.
sure.
Heartbreak Rich, by the way. So
For
I
those that
give
didn't
them.
know.
Sorry, had to say that. I give them a lot of credit for their sound effects too,
Yeah.
because they were dead on. They really were. The sound of the shield hitting the German helmets. The sound of the shield when she ran it along the side of the tank. Their sound effects were just simply amazing.
Oh, it was wonderful, and don't get me wrong. I'm sure a lot of people are looking into this way too seriously with political statements, one side or the other. It's just a cartoon, folks.
Yep, it's just a damn TV show.
It's just a show. Don't let that ruin something that Marvel's been building up for years. And the other thing is, it's a different timeline. It's a variant. It's a branch off of the main timeline. It's something that split when Loki destroyed the One who took control. Because now we're going to see a lot of really cool stories coming up. Some retellings, some different origin stories, but it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be.
I'm looking forward to the zombies. I'm actually looking forward to the zombie ones.
The zombie episode is going to be really interesting because I love the Marvel zombie storylines. So
because in the article that we reviewed on Thursday, they mentioned a zombie Captain America and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, Bring on Deadpool.
This is another one of those where I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah.
And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit down because I know they list it. They list what each episode is.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go in and look at that. I want to be just like when we do the show on Tuesdays. I want to be surprised.
Okay. Sweet. Perfect.
By it. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to the next episode.
It's gonna be pretty.
And that says a lot. You folks know me. That says a lot.
It does say a lot for JT. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. All right, guys. That is the end of Avenger Pretenders. We'll be back next week for episode 2 of What If, starring one geek and a redneck. Tuesday nights, we have the Sully Show at 8 p.m. Eastern, and on Thursday, we have Shout Out with JT. And if I have some time throughout the week, I will do some more gameplay streams where I am currently streaming Sunset Riders, which is really, really cool. So, with that being said, I hope you all have a great night. Stick around for a raid, because we are going to do a raid right now, because that's how we roll. Is that right? Is that right? We'll see you guys next week. It'll be fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, by the way, you can download the podcast at anchor.fm/The Sully Show. Yay! Yay!
Thank you for tuning in for Avenger Pretenders, folks. We will see you next week for the next episode of Avenger Pretenders. Until then, stand by, because we're getting ready to do a raid right now.
That's right. And we're actually going to do a wonderful raid to a friend of mine who is playing Sea of Thieves. Let me just make sure I'm spelling his name right here. His Twitch channel is Withany, and like I said, Sea of Thieves is what he's playing, and we will see you guys tomorrow for the Sully Show at 8 p.m. Eastern. So go in, use Punchers Unite, and we'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh, stop it.